Obviously, we admire greatly what you've done and what you do. So with people like you advising us to keep developing the concept of what really this university would be.
Thinking here in my much smaller institution in Cambridge, we have a Cambridge Muslim College which aims to train up the new sort of elite thinkers, the next generation of British Muslim intellectuals. So we've done some of the thinking around this. And in fact, science has always been one of our focuses, because those are two brilliant worlds, but the conversation is still rather primitive, unfortunately, between them. The idea that science is kind of allergic to religion, I think, is not the case. Many of our big scientists in Cambridge, like John Polkinghorne, who's Professor of Physics, are themselves believers in God. Martin Rees, who's the Astronomer Royal and is in Isaac Newton's chair, is a churchgoer, and so forth. So Cambridge is a place where that conversation happens, and we're trying to make it an Islamic conversation as well. So it's something I'm covered, is that you can't just juxtapose theological work with any old science. It's not really very helpful to have a department of nanotechnology and some of the applied sciences, because the conversation is a bit artificial. But we do focus very much history of science and also philosophy of science. And we also look at some of the problems that science is causing to today's world. We have in the University of Cambridge a new department of existential risks, whose only function is to look at the ways in which science is threatening the survival of the human race through global warming, through nanotechnology, through artificial intelligence. So the old kind of triumphalist idea that science is this sort of savior that's going to replace religion and usher us into a golden world of health and prosperity is no longer accepted by educated people in the West, because science is actually the reason for many of the technologies that, harnessed to human greed, have resulted in catastrophes around the world. So it's actually rather a good time to have this conversation, because science is less messianic and more willing to listen.